Okay, I think we are ready. I'm going to go live. Have you ever think that
Can't hear the host, the other host.
I just sent the guest, our special guest, the invite again. I just spoke to her, so let's get Victoria on here again. Yeah, I updated my old iPhone and stuff, and now none of them works. So
I know, and I had so many. I'm on an Android, and I had so many updates this weekend on a bunch of different apps, Twitter too. But I think everybody has to update their stuff now. And hey, Brent, I see Brent's here. Hi, Brent.
he's at work. Hey, Brent. There we go. Hey, Victoria. That's kind of weird. She usually sounds perfect. Now her mic is not there. Oh no, where's your mic, Victoria? Come back and it's kind of, yeah, this nothing's working today, but it's okay. We started. We're live streaming now, and we're not gonna have a breathing exercise because Terry's out. But while we're waiting for Carol, how are you doing, Emily? How was your weekend?
I actually had a really great weekend. We saw a ton of art this weekend. I went to Art Walk in Fort Lauderdale on Saturday night and on Sunday because they were closing out their Ignite Broward exhibit. And it was all this interactive light art, like art done with different types of light and different pieces, installations on movement and such. And then they had like a whole projection mapping space. It was really cool. I took my in-laws and the kids and went out and saw some art. So that was pretty cool. How was your weekend?
Just working. I'm kind of obsessed with creating websites now. This is my new hobby. It's a horrible hobby. So, and I'm like, because I have a developer key to Elementor. So I've been working on the women in communication to do an update because I got to put in the board of director. Because our website now, we had someone built it, but she didn't, it was Tonya. She used to be part of women communication, but it was good. But I think I found something much better. So
Nice. I know Ryan loves Elementor. He's a huge fan of that too. And Divi. There's a couple of other things that he likes for the website build, but I know he's a big fan of Elementor.
Yeah, and actually some people from South Florida are part of Elementor. I can't remember who it was because I was complaining about something in their group page and they DM me, and someone we know, that's part of they work for them or something. I got to go back in my Facebook. Yeah. So
Such a small little world from our South Florida group here.
Well, here's another small little world. I'm looking for different platforms for the Metaverse, right? And then were you at that event in Miami, in South Beach with Locke? He founded like a blogging site or something. He's huge. Well, he's part of this thing. They came out in 2016. It's called Metaverse, and so ahead of their time. But they do AR experience, Emily. You have to take a look at it. I think it's really good for clients to build campaigns on.
You'll have to link me to that.
I'm going to email you to that because I think that's really important that we start talking about. I'm going to reach out to them and see if they come and talk to us about their platform because it's really quiet. They're not doing much to it because I think they were ahead of their time. But they sent me a welcome letter when I signed up for it.
Okay. Yeah, send me some info. I also have to at some point, I mean, not on air here, but at some point talk to you about a client with an NFT project that I would love some assistance with.
yeah, let me know. I love that stuff. So good morning, Victoria. So let me go ahead and start while we're waiting. I saw her read the message. She should be coming in.
Hi.
Hi. She's
How you
Victoria's
doing,
my
Tonya?
online BFF, by the way. We just sit and we comment on each other's stuff all the time.
Well, supporting each other. Queens support queens, don't we?
So we are live right now, streaming on Facebook, the group, the fan page, Twitter Live, Twitch, YouTube. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce ourselves. Carol should be here any soon because it would be her first time on a space, so she's probably trying to figure out how to get in here. But everybody, welcome to the Association for Women Communications, the South Florida chapter. Every Monday we host an Empower Yourself Monday on Twitter Spaces, where we feature a woman, outstanding woman of honor, and who is doing great things. And we love to hear their stories, up to down, because the empowerment story. And so today we are episode 42. Our last episode was Emily, which is looks really good, Emily. I don't know if you got a chance to go to the YouTube page. I got to finish. I'm changing everything around. So today we'll be honoring. We'll be talking with Carol Wilson. We're going to catch up with her because we honored her February of 2019. She is what I call a herder. She's a communicator, a networker, but she's also a specialist in handwriting. So I thought that was kind of really cool. So she's going to be coming in, and some of the things that women communication try to talk about is, we've been around since 1909, our national chapter. And so when it comes to communication, we try to be the first of our kind in anything to do when it comes to the next big wave, especially communication now is going into with technology. So for us, there's so many exciting things from ChatGPT to I rescheduled the one that we were going to have. I was going to talk about it, but I'm going to try to get. I'm following this and she told me she would do it. She works for ChatGPT, so she said she'll come in and talk to us some more about is ChatGPT going to take away the communicator's job? Is it going to take journalist's job, the writer's job? So, and Tom Furman is one of our members. He's in a space today too, and I think he tried to sign up, but they're not letting people sign up right now because there's too many people. But it's interesting how a lot of these different AI are popping in. I was able to start with a new AI. It was called Jounce.ai. I've been sitting and waiting. So they gave me the ability to use it. It's really cool. It was free. So I'm trying to get some more codes. I don't know, Emily, would you like an invite to it? They're in beta, so you don't have to pay or anything. I just got to get another code. They only gave me 3, and that went so quickly. And then I was thinking, God, I need more.
Yeah, no, definitely send it my way if you get it. We have used Chat GPT. We've been using a couple of different AI programs just to test them out and see what they can do. And I will say that I don't think just yet they're taking over anybody's jobs, because they may churn out some great ideas, some great framework pieces, but then you still have to go in and edit and add some flair and put in, brand voice and all of that. And we haven't quite found one that, you can just plug in your information and it churns out something perfect and good to go. But I will say, especially for projects where you kind of sometimes just stare at a blank page and you're like, I don't know what to write here. And I know I have to start and I have to write something, but you have writer's block. I have found that is a great way to just kind of plug in some of your keywords, get some starter points, and then go from there. And we found a lot of help with the AI programs for that. So happy to take some codes. We use it quite often for that.
So I use Jasper, which I pay $100 to. It's okay. I like it because it does everything. I'm telling you, it'll write you anything. But then I started using Jounce, which it was free, so I was just trying to see what it does. And Jounce even writes out the description, write out for channel, show, all that stuff. So it's interesting. So I'm gonna share a content with you and give you a code that way. I think that's how I can do it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, Victoria, I'll get you one too, Tom. You want one? It's really good. It's better than ChatGPT because this is one I think they're gonna try to charge people money for, because I pay $100 for another AI that does the same thing, that has all these different templates that you can use and also different command. They call it recipe, which tells you what command to use. So I find that really interesting because you can just have an object and say, hey, I'm gonna sell this object. How do I write me a description for Amazon, and it does it.
Very cool. That would be actually pretty helpful. We have some resellers that we work with as well, and that would probably really help them.
It's also AI now that writes up your makes a website for you and put content in there and stuff. Like you build a website and then it does all the content. But I think it's not as easy as people think.
It's not, because again, it does come down to like what's your brand voice, what's setting you apart, what's going to, so like it definitely can write the framework of things, but you still need that human touch, at least for now. I mean, eventually it might overtake, and then enough human touch within the AI programs, and then you start getting some even stronger programming. But for right now, I think, writers still have some jobs for a bit of time. I did see, this has nothing to do with AI, but I just randomly saw this at an event this weekend. They now have these nail printing machines. Have you seen this? Where you pick a pattern, any design, logos, anything you upload, and then you put your finger into the machine and it just paints it right onto your nail, like prints it onto your nail. I'm like, there goes
I saw that on my
manicure
news
jobs.
feed.
Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, it's insane, just technology in general, and where we'll be in even like another like 5 years. It's crazy. I see
Yeah.
Victoria has her hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they've got the eyebrow one too, so you can digitally eyes your eyebrows, put your eyebrows onto. So great.
What? I have not seen that, and I would use that. I have
I'll
like
have to
no
share it.
eyebrows.
I'll have to share that. It was on TikTok. I seen it. I was like, oh wow, okay then. Digital eyebrows, here we come.
What? All right. Yeah, I got to check that out. Thank you for telling me that, Victoria.
You're welcome. I find everything. And they just bought out a motorbike because I'm into motorbikes, which like you sit on and it like drives itself and everything. You just talk to it and it drives it.
That's insane. That's my dream. Like, I want a car like Kit from like back in the day, Knight Rider, where you could just talk to the car and it does things. And I don't know that I 100% trust like self-driving Teslas and things like that just yet. But one day we will have the technology. We just speak to it and it'll do what we want. And I can't wait for that. That's my dream. I hate to drive.
Drive is nightmare.
I agree. And Tonya, you come from the makeup industry back in the day. Like, isn't it crazy how much technology has overtaken that? And like everything can be pretty much, technology can do all of the things now.
Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. This is my favorite subject to talk about. So, as you know, in 1996, I helped launch NARS Cosmetics. So NARS was by the time I became their Southeast trainer, they were sold to Shiseido. And then I left NARS and got into anti-aging medicine, got into technology now. But I've been following some of the things they're doing. So they're in a metaverse now. They're no longer hiring beauty influencers. They have a digital beauty influencer. That's the future. Even like OnlyFans, the future. And by 2025, most of the models on there would be digitally created. How crazy is that? So they're putting all their budget and money. So I'm noticing a lot of that too. So NARS is having each, I guess that each digital influencer that they have in the metaverse stands for different things. So because usually they have like a kit of different types of colors for different season. So I think they're just launching these influencers to go into the metaverse, and also and Fashion Week is coming up, Emily. So you should come with me, Victoria. We should try to go to a metaverse Fashion Week. I know I can get tickets because I know people are doing Fashion Week, but I would love to see what they're doing in the metaverse.
That'd be awesome. I would love to. I mean, I've gone to real life Fashion Week, but I think that would be even cooler to go to Fashion Week. I've actually done nothing within the metaverse other than like wander around an empty area. So I would love to see something actually happening in the metaverse.
Well, I'm building my first digital duplicate one. Well, I'm not, someone else's, but I'm gonna go tour the hotel space that my client rented for an event, and I wanted them to the hotel to send pictures of some of their work, but she said she didn't have any. She just like I was surprised, but so I got to go there and scan all the chairs, take pictures of them and which one they're gonna use, and then I'm gonna set it all up. It's like playing dollhouse, you kind of like decorate.
That's so fun. It reminds me of the games that the kids play, like on Minecraft or Fortnite or any of the places where they can go in and like decorate their store, their house, their this, their that. And I mean, I keep seeing your new avatars pop up, and I see all your stuff. I'm like, I gotta get in there, like Tonya.
The funny thing is, I haven't been in there. I've been there like once. I built my office and I got stuck in a corner, so I have to wait until I go into the storage unit and get my Xbox game, the controller, because I can't use anything else to walk across the room.
That's so funny. I love it.
No, because
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that I want to build people think it's strange, but I want to build a virtual office for myself. So instead of doing a Zoom call, I would like to see how easy it is for an average person to go into a platform and sign up and create the avatar and go there and come into my office and talk to me. Like, that's what I want to start using.
I love that. And if you figure that out, I will pay you to do one for Muggsy, because we have no reason for the overhead office, but I have always wanted a specific designed office. Like, I have it in my head. I know exactly the office I want. I just have zero reason to pay for it in the real world, but I have a billion reasons to pay for it in the metaverse. So I would love to work with you on that.
No, I'd be happy to partner with you. So the thing is, if you can just get it, you got to have like the measurement of the actual. If you want a digital like a duplicate of what you want in real life, and then this way in the future you can say, "Oh, this is what I have already. I'm gonna go ahead and build this in my real life," or "This is what I have in real life. I'm gonna build this in my virtual world." So you got to find the exact measurement of the room that you want, like how big you want it, and then that's when the furniture start going in. Because when you don't, because a lot of the rooms, they give you an empty space, you build it. But I feel like I wanted to make it more realistic as possible, so that when people do go in, they feel like, this looks like South Florida. This looks like an office building. This looks like an office,
Totally. No, I even have a space in mind. You and I will talk on that for sure. I did a really cool thing last weekend in the VR world. I went to Action Park, has their whole like virtual reality games, and they've got their XD roller coaster rides and things like that. And then we did, for the first time, a virtual reality escape room. And that was the first time that like it's so incredibly real to me that like in my brain, I knew 100% I am in an empty room. Right. But I was stepping over things that I saw on the floor. You were able to pick things up and, move around the room and solve these riddles and these puzzles and these clues and walk from room to room as if you were in a real escape room. And the level of detail to which they designed that game was incredible. Like, we were playing, we did not escape in time because we spent so much time just like, look at the detail in this room. Like, look at the detail of this puzzle. Look what we can do with these virtual reality hands and the way that it moves to pick things up, and the way that like if you hit your hand on something, the way it actually like you hurt your hand in the game. Like, it was really interesting. And again, just like one of the more detailed virtual reality games I've seen and that I've experienced. So that was pretty cool.
So like, now think about virtual reality, but then think about the AR aspect of it. Like,
oh yeah, I love that. AR. Like, somebody was talking the other day about, we had somebody on who was talking about the programs that they've developed, and like they can show like a real-time sea battle, for instance, like out on the water, a full historical battle using AR and things like that. And I'm fascinated by AR and what it can do.
well, did you know that Snap Camera stopped working because they got rid of all the people?
Wait, like they let go of people there, or because I know
yes,
it's not working. I used to have it connected, but
they removed it. Now you got to go in and did you clean it out your computer? Because it's messing up my computer. I got to go in and start cleaning it out because it stays in there. You got to have there's a whole process to remove every aspect of it, because what it does is, even though it's not there, somehow it still pops up in the camera.
It does, because it keeps trying to connect and then it says it won't connect, and then I couldn't get on my video the other day. So I did clear it out of my Zoom and things like that, but I probably do have to go in the back end and clear some other things out.
They have instruction on their website that tells. I actually, I'm going to go do that. I downloaded this app cleaner thing that where you just pick. It has all your app, and you can just remove whatever your app you don't want, and then it takes everything out. So we'll see how well that does, but it does. I think that Snap camera is really good, but now Snapchat, you can live stream to your friends on Snapchat. Not sure if they were allowed on desktop. Snapchat, yeah, on desktop.
I haven't been doing too much on Snap lately. That is one that has gone to the wayside for TikTok for the most part, at least. I don't do as much for myself, but on the client stuff, everything has been TikTok lately.
Yeah, that's why we have Victoria. I want to do a panel discussion. Victoria's in the UK, so that's why I want to build the the digital duplicate copy of the event, the place that we're going to use, that I'm using in February for a client. I'll have a copy of that, and we can use that as our, because all it is just a stage, a podium, people sitting, and then there's a bar, and that's it. And it's 100 chairs. So I'm gonna have a duplicate of that, so we can do an event when we're gonna have Victoria come in and talk about what her journey is in Snapchat. Because Victoria is very empowering. She has I want her to come back and talk about her journey, because she's very what she's told me. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. That's incredible. So
yeah, well, I keep that all secret. Only a few people know what I do, so yeah. But I don't mind. It's me, isn't it? So yeah, I've done TV, radio, a few different things. Got into Metaverse and stuff like that. Just learning all the time. I love to learn, so I keep doing that. I'll join you on your journey too. So
yeah, I think that TikTok is such a big thing for a lot of people and brand. And I was just telling Victoria that Emily and I've been talking about it, and that we couldn't get we were trying to find a person who's very big in TikTok. So Victoria, what is the largest view that you ever had that on one video?
44,000. So not bad, not bad. But they seem to push it out for me, so yeah, not too bad. Yeah, they give me all the tools before everybody else. I seem to test them all, so I've got that benefit.
Do you find it's the weirdest stuff that gets the most views for you? Because I have noticed that I put up things that I think will do so well, and I'll get a few hundred views, maybe a couple thousand views. And then I put up the most ridiculous stuff and 17,000 views, 50,000 views. I'm like, what is that? Why? Why such silly things that so many people want to see? But I haven't quite figured that out yet, what that algorithm exactly is.
If you go to your search engine and go to search, it should come up with a list of all the trending stuff, what's trending. So if you go with them trends or you put the hashtag in, you will get high views. Just a little quick for you.
Do you have a course that you provide or anything, Victoria? Do you teach?
No, I don't teach. Everybody said you'll have to teach me. Well, no, I haven't. No, I'm just in the background, me. I just do my own thing, so yeah. I should teach maybe.
Yeah, you should come up with a course or something, because I think it's even for a beginner's course, because I think a lot of people would want it.
Yeah, it's something I can look into, and you'll help me along, I suppose, Tonya. So yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind teaching. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm on my journey, so helping others and inspiring like you do. So yeah, and I'll help anybody else. So yeah, that's me.
What I'd find really useful too, if it's something you'd consider doing, is something each week that's an easy spot to go to and somebody talks about all the trends that are going on or what the hashtags are to use or what's trending that day or that week, because there's so many websites to go to get that information, but not like one person who has locked down the market on that to speak about it. I personally don't have the time or intel to do it, but it sounds like you do. And I feel like that would be extremely useful for a lot of people. A lot of the boards I'm on, a lot of the marketing groups, they all say, if only there was one person, you go there and you like know that they know what they're talking about, and they talk about the trends for that week, and they talk about the hashtags for that week, and they kind of aggregate everybody else's information into one spot.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll look into that. Yeah, might as well. I'm sitting here. So yeah, I'll do it. I'll take a leap. Yeah, be
That is
interesting.
the best mentality. I love it.
Yeah, might as well take a leap of faith. You know what you got to lose? Not much, have you? So yeah, keep positive, keep going.
I'll build you a classroom.
Yeah, build me a classroom. That'd be good. Yeah, I could do a virtual one. That'd be good. Thanks. I don't mind. I don't mind being in your world.
I love it. I don't know what's what. Kara's probably having a hard time getting in here because she doesn't really use. She's more of a Facebook. So I can change it, and we just talk a little bit more about digital media and just finish up the space because I wanted her to come in because I talked to her and she's just like an incredible person. She referred us to a lot of women too, but I don't see her coming in, and she's probably having a problem because I'm having a problem with my other phones too. I don't know what's going on with technology today. My other phone. That's why I'm not in with my other profile because my other phone is like having issue. I updated like it's supposed to, but then now it's telling me that I can't connect to the internet, but I'm using it on my other equipment. It's really strange.
Is the Wi-Fi down or something?
I don't know. It's just saying it's only the ones that's like my 6S, all my older phone, my own iPhone 6S couldn't update because I usually use it just to like for remote control for listening to music. I have one in each room. So that didn't update, and then my other computer didn't update, and then now it's saying that it updated, and then now it's saying I have no internet. So I just kind of like it's Monday, and I'm gonna breathe, and it's gonna be fun. It's okay.
Yeah, breathe and have fun. Yeah, that's right, Tonya. Yeah, let's have a
So
party. Right?
yeah, I'm just kind of like, but then I'm, on Monday I do a fireside now. Emily, that's another platform. Did I tell you? I started one last week with Graciela Moore. We honored her. She was here. So I did it because she does social media, but she's very big in Instagram, and she does all the like wisdom and the fireside. So she's publishing a book and stuff. So we did a not space, but fireside chat, and then now I call it vibing with vixens. People,
I love it. I love it. That's great.
somebody
Yeah,
goes, isn't vixen a negative word for women? I'm
no,
like, it depends what country
foxy,
you're from.
foxy lady. You're bringing the fixins.
Foxy lady. Isn't that a song?
Yeah,
I like the word
So
vixen. I always think of vixen as like strong, I think,
well,
I don't know. I
they
don't think
call
it's
me.
negative.
They call me because my name's Victoria. They call me Fixin or Vicky. So yeah.
oh, the funny thing was back in the 90s when I was a makeup artist, I wanted to start my own. So that's why I stayed with NARS for so long, just so that I put my name out there. And so during that whole time, I would like research what name would I call it, because really it's all in the name. I mean, Francois had Orgasm Blush in 1999, and it was like one of the hottest selling item. And then, now he has a whole line of orgasm. I mean, and when I used to teach the classes on this, we, at the, all the different stores at Saks, Neiman's, Barney's, all of them, I would say the word orgasm so casually without thinking about, and I'm thinking back in 1999, 2000, 2001, people thought it was like to say that word out loud, because I was, at that time, Sex and the City was hot, right? I was obsessed with Sex and the City. I fly home on Sunday just so I can watch Sex and the City. but you know, like, and today, my gosh, you hear orgasm everywhere. But now, you know, back then when you say that word in the middle of a cosmetics department luncheon, they look at you and I'm like, it's freaking our blush. It's the glow of an orgasm. And they just, and it was the number one blush in America too at one time. So I think, you know, what's in the name, right? Naming is it's the most important thing of a brand, I feel. Like Emily, I look at you and I think of Emily on the ad, Mug CPR, Mug CPR. That's how I think of you, you know?
Oh yeah.
And that's why I'm no aging, because that's what my business is. So it's
That's how I
interesting
knew
what's the
you
name.
before I knew you. And there's so many people who don't know me at all. They only know, like, they call me Muggsy. Like, they'll see me and they're like, oh, Muggsy's here. And I'm like, all right, close enough. So I definitely think, I mean, I always feel like you can't even start a business until you know what that name's going to be, because it has to be the right fit and it has to be so spot on. It's so much about your brand and so much about your company. And I mean, I agree. I remember when the orgasm blush came out and everybody was hyping. That was the biggest thing, but I can't even imagine because you're right. Back then it would have been so shocking. Now there's names of things that are so beyond what we would have, you know, we wouldn't have even considered saying it back then in a professional manner. But yeah, how times have changed, right? The makeup world has gotten very risque lately.
It's always been risque. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just look at some of the names of these lipsticks and some of the names, and I'm like, man, all right, we're gonna call it that. Cool.
Yeah, but if you think about, because you know, before I was a makeup artist, I worked for Goldwell. I sold hair color, so I hung out with hairstylists, and you know, the normal outfit was thigh boots, all black. Same thing as a makeup artist, you know, or a stripper, whichever comes first. Because it was just like crazy back then, you know, like it was so risque back then for us to walk around in the mall like that in broad daylight. But it was like, you know, we were hairdresser or makeup artist because it's just fashion, right? So today is, you know, back then people were like, oh my gosh, what are you? And then now today it's kind of like some people walk out with their pajamas on. I mean, that's like boxers. Remember the Kardashian one? Then when she was walking around with boys boxers and a tank top, and they called it the most fashion statement of, you know, 21st century. And I'm kind of like, this is my uniform during the pandemic. What are you talking about?
I know. I loved right out of the pandemic when it was like, oh, bathrobe chic. Like there was dresses that looked like bathrobes, and I was like, this is my jam. This is my work from home. I was loving that moment in fashion. I feel like now we're going back to normal clothes, but I really enjoyed loungewear as an option in general. And I think it's funny, like, you know, I come from the burlesque world and the pinup world and all of that. And for years, like I would go to all the networking events and stuff when I first started Muggsy. Part of our branding was the whole pinup vibe. Everything was all vintage, wear the pinup dresses, and we'd go to these events. And now, and people looked at us like we were nuts. I mean, we were the only ones there, and there was always like comments. And now everyone, that's just like the style. And you go out and you have so many people, Dapper Day at Disney, and everyone's in the pinup dresses, and everybody's got their stuff. And now I feel like it wouldn't quite be as noticeable if we did it. But 10 years ago when we started, it was definitely noticeable and, you know, kind of commented upon. But now it's no big deal. And I feel like everyone does burlesque now. Everybody does pinup. Everyone's doing boudoir shoots. Everyone's doing it. So it's just the world has certainly changed quite a bit since we all jumped into this.
Trendsetters, as they call it.
Damn right. That's what I say all the time. They just follow it now. I'm just kidding.
But now, you know, I think because after the pandemic, things have changed. For a woman to go buy makeup or a man to go, or, you know, to go buy makeup or anything, you don't really need to. Now you have AR that would, like, you can go to the counter and use the filter and see what it looks like on you. But does it really look like that on you?
It doesn't, not unless you know how to apply it the right way. That's always my thing. I can buy the right stuff. I just don't know how to put it on the right way necessarily. I have no clue how to contour or anything like that. But I will say I Googled what Victoria mentioned about the eyebrow thing, and it's from L'Oreal, and they're also coming out with a contouring machine where it'll just contour your face with the makeup for you. So we're like living in the Jetsons world now.
I know, but can I have Rosie? I need Rosie right now.
Oh, tell me about it. That would I would love a Rosie. I've always said she's my dream robot. And that machine that they had where you would like get pushed out of bed in the morning, it just put you on the conveyor belt and like pushed you through the shower and the makeup got you dressed and everything. I'm like, I need that. Where is that machine? Like why is science not working on that? Because I'd like that one.
Yeah, right. But I think they don't really want us to move too much, right? But then when you think about it, that was kind of cool how they just go through the whole thing. How it showers and shaves and does all that stuff. I really thought they have that nowadays. Maybe in Japan because they have those crazy toilet and the toothbrush and everything.
If they do and anybody is listening who might perhaps have that, message us because I would like to know about this. I need one very badly. I'm the worst morning person. I get up in the morning and I'm like, just don't make me move. Like move me around, put the makeup on me, do my hair. I don't care. But I don't want to move in the morning. So I would very much like a machine that would do that for me. I will function by myself in the afternoon and evening, but I would like a morning machine.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of weird. I used to have a problem with getting up in the morning, but now I'm doing pretty good. My brain just turned on, and now I have, instead of having the addiction of sitting online, like I sit on okay, I'm addicted to Twitter. First, no hand. I'm in women's communications space, but this year the National Women in Communication is going to be on Twitter Spaces more because I'll be helping them with it. They got some sponsors that really like what we did last year. So we're gonna do it. They're gonna do another round of sponsorship. So I'm gonna be helping them with it. But I feel that Twitter for me, I just like listening to people talk. I think it's like I fall asleep listening to Joe Rogan. I turn on Joe Rogan, I fall asleep. Is it horrible? Has
Like
anyone? Because
it's so his voice is like your lullaby, which is crazy to me because I can't. That would not be a soothing voice for me. But I listen to Dexter to fall asleep at night. So we all have something.
It's all in the tone. It's all in the tone of the voice.
Well, I mean, Rogan has a really like this monotone, like calm, like he had Jordan Peterson on, and I don't think I could listen to Jordan Peterson too long, but Rogan I can listen to, and some of the other ones I can't listen to them too much because it's just I can't fall asleep. But Rogan for some reason the moment that I listen by within 5 minutes I'm out. It's really weird. I don't know why.
So funny. But Victoria's right. It does all come down to the tone of the voice. Like that's the same. The actor who plays Dexter, it's such a monotone thing that even though his voice is just so monotone, it puts me to sleep. Same thing like you with Rogan. I start listening, I'm out like 10 minutes in, asleep.
Yeah, I think it's the droning voice. It drones. Just
So it's about 20 minutes, but I wanted to try to get Tom up here and say hi to us. But I wanted to also kind of like ask you, since we're here, have you seen? I think the perm is coming back. Have you seen it?
the curls, yeah.
Yeah, the perm. The guys are getting perms again.
Yeah, the curls are coming back. Yeah.
That does not excite me. I don't know if maybe it's changed. I haven't seen it, and hopefully the curls are better and not maybe quite as poodly as they were back in the day. I just feel like the perm curls back when I was in the 80s and early 90s when I did my perms, I just feel like it felt like a poodle curl. Are they more modern looking now?
No, it's really how you wrap the perm. I think okay. For disclosure, by when I came to the United States, by the time I was 10 years old, I learned how to wrap. I learned how to do perms. So literally all my cousins that came over to the United States, if you look at our pictures, they all had poofy perms because I permed everyone's hair when I was 10 years old. So and it's all in the size of the rod too. So the smaller the rod, the bigger, like the tighter, like it's all fluffy. But I just got really obsessed with perming people's hair. That's why I just think it's funny that it's coming back. Everything that I experienced as a child is coming back. It's crazy.
So when I come and
Everything.
visit you, Tonya, you're going to give me a perm, right? Okay.
Oh no, I don't do
Yeah.
that. I'm not. I'm a retired hairdresser / makeup artist.
I have noticed
have
that I was. Oh, you have a confession? No, I want to hear that. Go on.
Oh no! I'm just saying that my best friend like was Sandra Lopez, and like I only did her makeup like twice. And my other best friends, I always tell them like, when you get married, I'll do your makeup for free. I mean, like that's your gift. So I'm literally the makeup artist for my girlfriend's weddings, and then like I do their whole wedding party, which saves them a lot of money. I mean, like a lot. So that's my wedding gift. But I just I don't really, I really don't do anything these days except just look at my phone and write and build websites and learn and read and talk to people online. That's it. I don't really like the day that just makeup and all that stuff and clothes and like how many more bags I can buy, how many more shoes I can get. No, I'm a little bit overwhelmed with the stuff. I want to create an experience.
100% with you on that. We even said, like, for the holidays this past year with all our friends, we were like, don't buy stuff. Like, let's not do gifts. Let's do experience. Create some memories together and go out and do something and learn something new and take a class or something. But let's stop buying things because we just have too much stuff. And in the end, none of that stuff really matters. And it all sits on our shelves and our closets and we don't even touch it or look at it. And it's like, oh, it's nice to know I have this, but like, to what end? And it's definitely getting cumbersome and we're running out of space, but also it just seems silly. And it's so much like, look back over the years and it's like, you don't think about the things that you have, you think about the things that you did. So that's what we're trying to do too.
Yeah, it's good to upcycle too. So you can upcycle your clothes and stuff like that. So yeah, go back to your trends. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wearing your clothes twice. So yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing
So
like
what are the
thing in
trends
every.
nowadays anyway?
I mean, it looks like the 90s stuff is coming back. That definitely seems to be a trend. I was at the mall Saturday with Daniela looking for a dress for her Valentine's Day dance. And everything that we were seeing, I'm like, this is just the 90s. We wore all of this and bucket hats are back in and crop tops and the baggy jeans that run, all the way past your shoes down on the ground and the slip dresses with the tiny tank tops and t-shirts underneath them. And all of that is everywhere. And the dresses she was picking up, I'm like, I wore that in like ninth grade. Like, what is happening here? But all of definitely seems like the 90s are a big thing at the moment.
I'm selling all of it. I'm gonna go online because, and then, how much those jackets are going for? The 90s jackets are going for like $45-$50 used online.
Yeah, and if you have a pair of Jenkos, sell those. Jenkos are like going for like crazy amounts of money on eBay right now, like original Jenkos. And then I saw like back in the 90s, everyone had those denim jackets, they like Looney Tune characters and Disney characters and stuff on them. Those are like $400, $500, $600 on eBay now. Like it's insane. So yes, 90s, sell your 90s stuff. Now's your time to do it.
What about those Beanie Babies that I have a container of? I'm still waiting. I was promised back in the 90s, in 1996. I collect them from 1997 to 1999. And I was told that these would be worth a lot of money. And I had them like I literally went looking for each one of them. Every airport I went through, I was like looking for them. So I told my kid that this was going to be his college fund, which it never came to. It never came true, but I'm hoping that it'll be there for me for my retirement. So I think I should just make them into an NFT or something.
Yes, you do that. If you do, I hope that does well because then I'll tell my parents. They did the same thing you did. They collected a ton of Beanie Babies. Like my stepdad went Beanie Baby crazy and bought all of them. And we just had bins of them. And you're right. They're sitting in storage. Like nothing ever happened with them. But I hope one day they do. Same like my brother had the Pokemon cards. He was like, hold on to these because you never know.
Those
And
are
then even
worth a
when
lot of money right now. No, they are.
some,
Those are worth.
some of
My kid
them.
is looking for his.
Some of them are worth a lot of money, not all of them, some of them. And unfortunately not the ones my brother seems to have had. But yeah, no, they definitely had that resurgence when Pokemon Go came out, but I'm waiting for that big windfall from all these collectibles that we're all boxing up.
Well, I have little race cars. I got boxes and boxes and boxes of race cars because my it's an inheritance. I inherited this, and I'm like hanging on to it, thinking my nephew will be old enough to like play with them, but it's like thousands thousands in boxes, and some of them are brand new. They're all brand new, actually. Only a couple are kind of old, but they're like old. Like someone bought someone's garage out, and then I somehow inherited them because everybody's like, I don't want these. I'm like, oh, I'll take those. And then I got them. There's a whole bunch of them. But like, do kids even play with those toys anymore, or do they? Do they play cars anymore, or do they just, most parents give them a tablet and they go online?
No. Like my still like they all play their cars and they have all the what are those called? Not match. Hot Wheels. They have all the little Hot Wheel cars and they play with those and they have the tracks and stuff and you have to build the track around the house. So still some tangible toys that they're playing with. Definitely they reach for the iPad, but they have toys. I think you could sell some race cars if needed.
My little nephew plays with cars. He likes them, so yeah, they're definitely in still. Yeah, but he's only 2, so God bless him.
I think it's great that we're so technically, on. Like there's technology going and things are great, but I still feel that children should still play with regular toys with no electricity in them, and just kind of like, maybe it's nostalgic for me, but I feel it's really important for their brain, because I feel like it's not really good for like have kids constantly turned on as far as holding them a tablet as their babysitter, and then they wake up and then and then as they get older they're taught to look at the tablet, not at the parents.
Well, and I think it also takes, and I agree with you 100%. And I think it takes away some of the imagination from the kids too. I think when you're playing a video game or you have stuff electronically online, we do it too. You don't have to think. You don't have to use your imagination. You don't have to come up with the storyline yourself or figure out what your, toys are going to do when you're playing with them. It feeds it to you. It tells you. So it makes it very easy for them. But then when you take that tablet away, they're like, oh, I'm bored. And it's like, we use your imagination. You can't be bored. There's in this world to do. Use your imagination. And I do like there's some toys that I think are pretty cool because it's a hybrid now. And so like it started, I think, with like Skylanders and things like that. But a lot of the toys, it's a physical toy and they can play with it. And then you can integrate it with the electronics, with the video games and things. But then at least when they take the toy off of it, they can still play it. They can carry that storyline on that started in the video game, gives them a little starter thing there. But overall, like with my kids, I've always been like, if you're bored, then you're lacking imagination. If you're lacking imagination, then we have to do something about that because it means that the electronics are taking over your ability to come up with this stuff on your own.
Yeah, kids should not be bored today.
No.
I wish I could say I'm bored.
Right? I know. No, my kids hate it. They don't tell me they're bored anymore because we created a jar of things you can do when you're bored. Some of them are fun and some of them are chores and things that always have to get done in the house. So they know that because they're limited on their screen time. So they know that if they don't have screen time and they come to us or they sit around and they're like, oh, I'm so bored. I'm like, oh, cool. I have stuff for you to do. Pick something out of the jar. And then they're like, no, I'll find something to do. I'm good. I'm not bored. But there is always something. Yep. I refuse. I'm bored. Like my least favorite comment. I'm like, if you're bored, you're lazy. So figure something out.
I love that. That's so cool that you're doing that. I wish a lot of parents would take that kind of initiative. But I think at the rate we're going, I think we're going to see a lot of homeschooling pretty soon and different things. So I think it's going to be maybe hopefully, if the children are homeschooled. I don't know, like Tara's husband, her daughter, Oasis, who is homeschool. You know who I'm talking about, right, Emily? Her daughter is in college now, and she homeschooled her the whole time. And literally, I was, privileged to like to have met her when she was young. I mean, I remember she was 9 years old. Donna Lawrence and I was doing Social Chat's Women Communication show, and she couldn't go into the studio, so we met her, and we streamed our show on the radio with her sitting next to us, and our daughter just sitting there coloring, writing on her book, and and now, oh my gosh, she's building stuff. This big tech family, but they're very into nature, and I think that's the balance is so important. So and she homeschooled her daughter the whole time. I mean, like that's. I was so impressed, and there's a whole community. So I feel like you're going to see more of that type of family unit coming up.
I agree. I think a lot of people are realizing that, like, look, I'm a big believer in going to school and graduating, going to college and all that. I think there's a lot to be said for schooling and getting your kids out to experience the world and being in nature and being able to understand how, we can learn about science and you can learn about the earth and all of that, but you can also experience it. You can learn about society and culture, but you can also experience it. And that hand is what is so missing in schools nowadays. And so, like, homeschooling, I think, is a great thing if the parents have the time and ability to do it and do it right. And you're right, there's so many communities for it now. So I think you will see more and more of it. And now you've got AR and VR and ways to, like, bring all that tech in to help the kids at home. I don't know that you need the school system the way that we've had it in the past exactly in that same way anymore.
Well, I mean, the pandemic proved it. The lockdowns. I mean, Florida, we didn't have that much of a lockdown, but the kids were on Zoom, and it was horrific. I hated it. Even with my interns, and I had a high school kid working with me, and he went from being an incredible, motivated young man, want to do, write and do all kinds of stuff and learn, to like when he was forced to go to Zoom in school, and we had to do Zoom because we didn't meet. It could not get him to focus. Could not get him. He didn't want. He felt he did not want to sit in front of the screen anymore. He didn't want to do this anymore. So I think now with that in mind, I think a lot of parents had to like juggle their life and make sure their children are highly educated, but also like motivated. And I think that, and I myself, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sitting in front of a Zoom, the screen, staring at the screen, staring at yourself, it's not really healthy. I don't care what anybody says, but can you imagine a kid 6 hours a day, 5 days a week on Zoom? I don't know how the other states did it. I don't know how they were able to keeping their kids out of school all that long and not be around other kids.
My kids did it for the year, almost a year and a half, I guess, really. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. I will say one of the kids absolutely thrived on it. Loved the fact that, like, they could get the win and then the rest of the, quote unquote class time to just kind of turn their screen off and hang out and do other stuff, because he's really fast with his work. And in class, that's always an issue because the other kids are slower and he's faster. And then he disturbs the other kids. So for him, it was definitely better at home, actually. But for our daughter, she missed the social interaction. She missed being in front of the teacher. She missed being in the classroom. And the Zoom just drained her, absolutely drained her. And I get it, because I am the same way. I tell my clients, I'm like, you know what I look like. There is no reason that you have to sit on a Zoom and see me. There's no reason I have to see myself and sit at that screen and see myself all day. And I'm definitely not paying full attention when I'm looking at myself on that screen when you're talking. I'm like, I'm staring at myself. I am checking my hair. You know it. But when I'm on with you, I'm like, I'm checking my hair. I'm like, oh, I didn't do my makeup. This looks terrible. Oh, my room behind me. I should put up a virtual background. I should blur I should play with this. I should do that. I'm like, just get on a phone call.
Like me.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm so much better on the phone. Like, just call. I have no reason to stare at myself for hours. No.
Yeah, I think that's why social audio did so well. I think that's why Clubhouse did really well, and that's why Twitter Space is doing so well. I think it's good to do, like, you can do a Zoom maybe for an hour or so, maybe 2 hours if that's going to be a requirement. But I feel that's where the metaverse and all that is, because people are not there. You're not staring at you. You actually have to move around, and sit, and you can doing other stuff too. And you actually feel like you're there with the people because you see yourself walking and talking, and So I think that's a different thing. Comes staring at your face for hours.
Agreed. And I found recently on Zoom, everyone's doing other stuff anyways. Like, you're on the Zoom and you see everybody, like, checking their email or checking their phone or doing other things. I'm like, none of us are paying attention. Just do this on the phone. Like, this is so silly. And it will be interesting to see how it transitions into meetings in the metaverse and all of that. But I do think it forces you to be more present in a metaverse setting than it does right now on Zoom.
So you and I are going to have our office together. Victoria, we'll have to build an office for you too. So I have a huge plan. So there's two platforms. that I'm looking at. So, but then I found a third one. So we'll talk. There's so many stuff to mess with, but it's about 10:57. I appreciate everyone for being here. Tom, it's great seeing you. We're gonna have a meetup soon, an educational one also. Emily, it's always a pleasure, and everyone, thank you so much for listening in. Again, we're live streaming, so and then we have our finished product. Emily, did you see your last segment? It's because we got the live stream, and then we got the finished product. I got to go in and change the what is it, the thumbnail, because I'm gonna, instead of doing squares and boxes, the final image, I'm just gonna take our picture and just do the whole. You know how YouTube they have that, just the people's faces look like they're standing next to each other. I'm gonna go back and do it like that to all of our videos. I'm kind of curious, I'm kind of curious would we get more view by having someone standing,
Right.
just like, because I watched Tiger Belly, I watched all these different ones, and all they have is just the person standing and then the words in the middle.
Yeah, let's see if that helps any. I love that you experiment on all that stuff.
I mean, you gotta kind of curious, because I watch everything and I see what comes and what works and what doesn't, and and how YouTube show things to you. So I'm on YouTube, so that's why I think you can't be perfect at every platform. So I love the fact that Victoria's here. She can tell us more about TikTok, and hopefully we can get something going. And then, do we have anyone in our area that's big in TikTok too, Emily? Because I'd love to do a panel discussion with Victoria, and then get a couple more TikTok people.
I just met somebody the other day who's pretty big on TikTok down here. I could definitely see if she would be open to doing it. We just met at a speakeasy. Like, I randomly found a speakeasy the other day, and then she was in there, and it turns out she's a pretty big TikToker. So I can definitely reach out.
Yeah, because we can do like hybrid.
And I could plug you on TikTok, so get more people to come and view you and follow you too. So I'll do that. I'll make a little video for you, because I'm quite good at that. So yeah, I'll do that for you, Tonya. No worries.
Oh, I love you. Oh, Emily, and Tom, you got to check out Victoria's TikTok. She's posted. It's on her Twitter feed too. She's really good. I was like, wow, and she does it so quickly too.
Yeah, shout out your TikTok on here, Victoria, so everyone can find you.
It's Victoria Garvey 1. So yeah, that's mine. And I'll put it in the nest below. So yeah, people can find me.
Perfect.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. We'll be back next week for another episode of Empower Yourself Monday. And if you know someone that is an outstanding communicator, and you would like to have her or him featured on our podcast, please reach out to us. You can reach us at info@awc South Florida, spelled out SOUTHFLORIDA.org. And we'll be happy to talk to them and get them scheduled. And we'll be planning out all our upcoming hybrid events. It's going to be in person and online at the same time. So again, I appreciate everyone for being here. Emily, have a great, productive week, which I know you will.
You too, Tonya. Thank you so much for everything. And thanks to everyone listening in. Nice to meet you, Victoria.